Hi guys, uh, I'm gonna read Journey into Mystery number 93. So this is the first appearance of Radioactive Man, not to be confused with the one from The Simpsons. This one's a supervillain. It has nothing to do with The Simpsons Radioactive Man. But, regarding Tintin, I'm not gonna continue that because the second part only got one like, and I noticed two people unsubscribed from me. It's probably because there was like racist stuff in it. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna continue that. I mean, because nobody want. There's only I only got like one like, so I don't know. There's no point in continuing in it. Just nobody's gonna watch it. I only did that because it was a viewer request. That's the only reason I read that. If nobody requested I read that, I wouldn't have read it. But even the mighty Thor is forced to obey the sinister commands of the awesome Radioactive Man. Throw away your accursed hammer, Thor. You have no choice. You are my slave. I am your slave. Without his hammer, Thor cannot stop the Radioactive Man. We're all doomed. Out of the sinister scientific laboratories of Red China has spawned a new kind of menace, designed only for one purpose: to destroy the mighty Thor, protector of democracy. That is the background, and this is the story. The titanic tale of the mighty Thor versus the mysterious Radioactive Man. By Odin, something has deflected my hammer. I cannot injure you. Exactly, Thor. The radiations of my body have turned your now useless weapon aside. Great guns, Thor is done for. He's at the Radioactive Man's mercy, and that means we are too. So plot Stan Lee, script R. Burns, art Jack Kirby, inking Dick Ayers, lettering R. Holloway. India, vast remote, menaced by the Red Chinese attackers. Into this war-torn land comes an American medical mission, led by Dr. Blake. What is your estimation of the situation? Well, if the Indians are to turn back the Chinese invaders in this border war, they'll need more than American arms and military advisors. They'll need all the medical supplies America can send them. Ambulances, nurses, doctors, surgical instruments, medicine to take care of the wounded behind the front. You're right, Doctor. Suddenly, run for your lives! Red tanks have penetrated our defenses, and they're coming through the Chogi Pass. Take cover! Secretly, Dr. Don Blake hobbles into the woods, and then, if those Chinese tanks aren't stopped, they'll pulverize this hospital base. I must switch from Dr. Don Blake to the mighty Thor. Instantly, both Dr. Blake and his ancient cane change shape. Now I can halt the Reds dead in their tracks. As Thor soars skyward at fantastic speed, my hammer can do the work of many missiles. Now, I could easily destroy the red tanks, but I'd rather deliver them to the Hindus. So I merely wreck their firepower. Next, I'll chain them all together, and then I'll attach the chain to my hammer, and off to the nearest Indian army camp. But Thor's stupendously epic feat does not go unobserved by enemy eyes. This is disastrous, Colonel. Thor is helping the Hindus and is giving them their own tank. Thor, then there is such a one. We must regroup, must make no plans. His power makes him the equal of an army division. Soon at a Hindu base. Here, with a few minor repairs, your forces can operate these red tanks. We are grateful, mighty Thor, but alas, there is no way to prevent the Chinese from sending more tanks against us. Yes, there is. Just watch. Then as the red Chinese gape in helpless dismay, Rrrr! As God of Thunder, I can control landslides and avalanches. Cram! Once I close this pass, no red tanks will ever get through again. Next, as Thor stamps his hammer twice on the ground, this thunderstorm will impede the Chinese army. Soon their motorized equipment will bog down in a sea of mud. Now I can return to the Hindu territory. The red hordes will be threatening the Indian outposts for a long time to come. Get me Peking at once. What do you mean you can't hear me? I'm shouting, idiot! But General Fu, I only hear the sounds of big guns firing round after round. The noise is drowning out your words. Fool! Our guns are silent. What you hear are the pounding of thunder created by Thor. Thor, I said. He stopped our advance. And it's not my words which are drowning, it's us. We can't move forward 1 inch because of Thor. Now put me through to Peking, to the great leaders themselves, or so help me, you numbskull, you'll face a firing squad before sundown. Next morning at Communist headquarters in Peking, I think that's supposed to be like Mao Zedong. I think that's supposed to be. But now that you heard the latest news about Thor's victory over our army, what are you going to do about it? What can we do about it? Thor is the mightiest force on earth. Silence! Such talk is treason. Communism is the mightiest force on earth, and it would destroy even Thor. I demand solutions, results, not whining excuses. You are our greatest military strategists, our most ingenious scientists. Speak up! How do we get rid of Thor? I demand immediate suggestions. Our great leader is right. Sooner or later we must fight the democracies, and we must prepare for it now by shaking their morale. We can make free men tremble by destroying their hero protector, Thor. Oh, Great One, I, Chenlu, speak for our scientists. We'll work day and night in our secret laboratories until we create something to defeat Thor. So be it, Chen, but remember my warning. Either you eradicate Thor, or I will eradicate you. That goes for all of you. The penalty for failure is death. Am I understood? Perfectly, Great One. Those days are numbered. What are you going to do, Chenlu? Do you know of any way to eradicate Thor? Yes, comrade. As it happens, I do. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll return to my research. When I finish my experiments, not only Thor, but the whole world will cower before my invincible power. An hour later, as Chenlu arrives at a converted Buddhist temple, which is his private lab. Everybody knows atomic power can be limitlessly destructive. But radioactivity, enough of it, is potentially the greatest menace. And I have discovered through my radioactive experiments how to make a human become super powerful by subjecting him to sufficient radioactivity to change his entire atomic structure. Not one scientist in all China knows how fully advanced my discovery is, and there's no chance of a leak. All the scientific data is locked inside my brain, for I use only robots as assistants and guards. At first I thought I'd endow some human guinea pig with radioactive power, but then I decided, why should I make someone else so strong? Why shouldn't I myself become the Radioactive Man? Straight away I decided that Chenlu would become the most awe-inspiring human on Earth, invulnerable to all menaces, unconquerable even by Thor the Mighty. And now a few moments my ambitions will have been realized. I have for many months increasingly immunized myself against the deadly effects of radiation. Therefore I can absorb an infinite amount of radioactivity without injuring myself. On the contrary, I will become an amazing human reservoir of radioactive power, which I can use as I please. Ah, the tingling rays are suffusing my body from head to toe. An ordinary man would be incinerated by these super intense radiations, but I am merely warmed by them, as if they were ordinary sunbeams. I have but to exude a little radioactive force, and this entire lab equipment, robots, and the building itself will crumble into a smoking ruins. I have no further use for it, yet let it vanish so no other scientist can reconstruct my equipment or learn my secret formula. Now I'll contact our great leaders and show them what Chenlu has accomplished with his scientific genius. That afternoon. Unbelievable! And you can turn this radioactive power at will? Aye, Great One. I am now glowing only slightly, so that you will not be harmed by my presence. Chenlu, you are a genius. With such power you will become our greatest national hero. Aye, master, especially after I get rid of Thor. Let me tell you how I intend to dispose of him. A week later, in a red Chinese submarine off the U.S. coast. Chenlu, we're only a few miles now from the American shoreline. Good, stay outside the 3-mile limit, and fire me out an empty torpedo tube. Good luck on your glorious mission. I need no luck. I am invincible. Now fire! I need only turn my radioactive heat, and the torpedo casing will melt away, allowing me to swim the remaining distance. New York City. Little do they suspect what is in store for them. I'll give the Americans the shock of their lives. Soon, as Chenlu walks brazenly through a customs station, "Hey, stop that man! He has no passport, no papers!" "Passport, papers, bah! Use your guns on me. They cannot stop me, nothing can." "Oh my gosh, look! He's turned into a mass of blinding light." "Our slugs are melting, so's the concrete floor." "Correct, you dolts. So I advise you to keep your distance. I am here for only one purpose, to seek out and destroy Thor." Presently, as the bizarre figure trudges up Broadway, "I hereby issue a challenge to Thor, wherever he is, and come forward and meet me in battle." This is uncanny. Machine gun bullets can't harm him, and nobody dares touch him because of his radioactive body. Then in Times Square, "Let it be broadcast throughout the world that I am waiting here for Thor to show up to fight me. Meanwhile, don't try any tricks. Even artillery shells or poison gas can't harm me. What's more, we can't even drop a bomb on him. He's in the heart of Manhattan. Too many innocent people will be hurt." And as hours pass and Thor doesn't appear. "Where's Thor? Surely he knows about the Radioactive Man's challenge." "Maybe Thor's afraid of him. Not that I blame him. How can anything defeat this Radioactive Man?" "You see, your esteemed Thor is a coward. He must have seen me and realized that he has met his master at last." But Thor's reason for not appearing is a secret to everyone except Dr. Don Blake. The whole hospital is buzzing about the Radioactive Man's challenge, but I can't accept it yet. This operation is a life or death matter, and I can't leave the operating table till my patient is out of danger. An hour later, "Congratulations, Blake. Your operation was a masterpiece of medical skill. If any other surgeon than you had operated, the man would have never pulled through. I'm glad I was successful. Now I must tackle another life and death matter. This mysterious person called Radioactive Man. I must change to Thor at once." Moments later, Dr. Blake switches to Thor in a deserted room in the hospital. "Look, there's Thor now." "Ah, so you finally dare to confront me, Thor." "Why should I not? What's so invincible about you?" "My radioactive power. I'll destroy you with it." "Say that after you feel my hammer's sting." But amazingly, "By Odin! Something has deflected my hammer." "Behold, Thor, the radiations from my body turned it aside. Perhaps you can think of something else to harm me." The forces of the elements are mine to control. No one can withstand my lightning bolts." "No one but me. Ha ha! Electrical shocks have no effect whatsoever on me." "Then I will take you on myself. I am still one of the mightiest of mortals. I'll defeat you, if I must, with my bare hands." "Think again, my helpless foe. My radioactive molecules are so arranged that if I were subjected to any sudden physical violence, I would reach critical mass and then, poof, I'd blow up like an H-bomb and take the entire city on with me. By the gods, my hands are tied, but there must be some way to fight you." "Stymied, eh? You don't know what to do about me, but I know how to handle you. I'll simply use my radioactive powers to put you in a hypnotic trance. And so, Thor, in just one split second, you will become my slave." That light! My eyes! Oh!"
You cannot resist my hypnotic influence, Thor. You are hypnotized even now. In fact, you no longer know who you are. Am I right?
Yes, master. I do not know who I am.
Good. Now to get rid of the source of your power, toss away your hammer, Thor, now.
Yes, master.
Great guns! Thor's done for! He's thrown away his mighty hammer. Now look at that character's mercy. And so are we at that character's mercy, and so are we. Run for your lives!
Idiot! Did I say throw it so far? Now I must search for it. Curse you!
Yes, master. But as the radioactive man runs off, little does he suspect that Thor cannot be without his Uru hammer for more than 60 seconds without changing back to Dr. Don Blake. And so as a single minute passes, holy hypos, I've become Dr. Blake again. It's a good thing everyone's fled in panic, or else somebody would have seen Thor's secret identity. Then as the enraged radioactive man returns,
Blast it! I could not find Thor's hammer, and now he's disappeared too. But that's impossible. I'd had him hypnotized, and he couldn't do anything without a command from me. You puny one! Did you see where Thor went?
Although Thor was hypnotized, Dr. Blake was not. Now that I'm Blake again, the hypnotic spell is broken, but the radioactive man cannot know that. Now to throw him off the trail.
Well, fool, speak or I'll destroy you.
He ran that way, uptown.
Good. Thor won't get far in his hypnotized condition. Without his hammer, he's helpless. When I catch up with him, I'll take no more chances. I'll destroy him on the spot.
The radioactive man will never find Thor, because Thor is now heading for the office of Dr. Don Blake as fast as he can get there. Minutes later, as Nurse Jane Foster listens anxiously on the radio. Jane, I'm going into my private lab, and I don't want to be disturbed for the next 2 hours.
But how can you work calmly in your lab when that radioactive man is running amok in the city? He just announced to the police that he came from Red China to destroy Thor. And if the authorities don't help him locate Thor, he'll blow up all of New York.
So he's from Red China, eh? That explains why he's after Thor. Well, there's nothing I can do about it, Jane. For me, it's as business as usual.
If I live to be 1,000,000, I'll just never understand what makes Don Blake tick.
I'm sure Jane despises me for my attitude, but I can't confess that I'm about to create a device to enable me to locate Thor's hammer, for without it I can never become Thor again. After an hour of frantic electronic experimenting, I'm in luck. This X-ray type device can monitor any area within 10 miles. I trained it on the west side where radio reports say Thor flung his hammer, and there it is, lying at the bottom of the Hudson Pier near a river. This is a pier, all right. My viewer revealed that the Uru hammer is lying below in 80 feet of water. The big question is, can Don Blake survive a dive like that? Well, nobody in this city will survive if I can't retrieve the hammer. So here goes. Gosh, the pressure is terrific, but I must dive still further down. I must.
I see the hammer. It's only 20 feet away now. I can't breathe anymore. I'm blacking out. Got to hold on. Another second. Now!
I did it. I reached the hammer in time. Now to get rid of that radioactive menace forever. Soon on the west side,
the time is up. Now to blow up New York and... What? Thor!
In person. And now it's time to create your own private tornado, which will whisk you back over to the sea, to Red China.
No, don't! I'm moving too fast. When I land, I'll reach critical mass and...
That's your problem, my radioactive friend. Your Red Masters gave you a mission. Now they can have you back, intact or otherwise. Hours later in Red China.
Great one, look! A tornado is headed for yonder mountains.
Yet it is unlike any tornado I have ever seen.
Behold, an atomic explosion! Can it be?
There's only one answer. Even the radioactive man could not defeat Thor.
And that night in Dr. Blake's office,
Imagine, while you were doing your routine work in the lab, the mighty Thor saved us all. Huh.
Well, Jane, you know how it is. We can't all be heroes. It says Thor rids city of Radioactive Man. So that's the end of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.